Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Dim and Kedge. I'm going to get the episode number right this time. It is Namaste Rich, episode 18. I said it was 16 last time, and then big glaring on the YouTube, it says 17. So apologies, but great to be with you guys. I think we're going to have a really nice episode coming up. Kedge, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, doing good, man. And I'm glad that, even as you were saying that 18, I'm glad that we've got somewhat consistent, and we just kind of just did this for a bit of fun, and now like we've got into a bit of a rhythm, and I feel like we're having some really good conversations, man. So pumped.
That's good, man. 18 episodes deep. Dude, how's your week been? What's been going on? I feel like you had a few things on your mind that you might wanted to be speaking about today.
Yeah, as in nothing crazy. I think sometimes, obviously, both of us are, living the entrepreneurial life, and like sometimes it can, from the outside looking in, sometimes it can look glamorous, I guess, for better words. But I think it was one of those weeks or couple of weeks where there has been a fair few challenges, on a few different parts dealing with and things like that. So I think everything, nothing is like, there's no easy path, I guess. And I think it's probably just worth like, just sharing that as well. Cause I think sometimes people can look and feel jealous and like, this person's doing that and they're doing this and I'm stuck here, but it's not all like, it's not all rosy. There's like work to be done and anxieties and stresses and curveballs that come your way. So happy to touch on some of those, today as well. But I guess before we do, you randomly sent me like 3 random videos prior to this, and you said, watch this, some source material to talk about today. So I got no context about why you shared those videos, but it was from the retreats that you do, and I actually was watching it and I was getting G'd up like watching the videos. So keen to also hear like, what specifically you wanted to talk about from that as well.
Well, man, that's awesome. All right, for context, since you just mentioned it, why don't I just show this real quick? Just for context for everyone at home. So these are the videos I sent to Kedge. This one, let me just start here. If you can see it.
What's wrong with you? This is not a joke, you Sorry. It's not a joke. Get the smile off your face.
So hopefully you boys, hopefully everyone listening at home gets the picture. I don't know if the sound's really coming through, but this one's of me kind of blasting someone at a retreat, which, I can speak to because it, probably on the surface it sounds like I'm on an ego trip. So that's all good. Like I can speak to that. The second video was actually quite cute, I would say.
And you're going to be like, bruv, I really appreciate this Bentley, bruv. You got to understand, man. This shit has happened to me when I was a child. My uncle said this, right? I had all this trauma, but I worked really hard, but I'm not financially qualified to get this Bentley. So you should just give it to me anyway.
So there's the second one. Again, I'm not sure if the sound's coming through, but I'll speak to that one. And then the third one was actually, I would say, quite meditative and actually, quite a big contrast from the first one that you just saw. So here's the third one.
Once again. The way to keep it a distant memory is by really embodying a new you. So you have a new anchor point. Is that fair, what I'm saying? So hands up once again.
So hopefully there'll be some meaningful things to actually to take out of this. But Kedge, can we? I want to actually just be sure to speak on your first point too about glamorizing things, just because I think I actually have something quite unique to say about this that actually genuinely will help people when they hear, and actually help people feel even more empowered, and not just me complaining about how hard my life is, but actually a process that people can do at home that actually can help them let go of worrying about so much what other people are doing in a really, really wholesome way, and let you at home take the power right back for you, and you'll use that power to put into the focus for whatever your goals are. So there's already a whole bunch of awesome things I think we can speak to, Kedge.
Yeah.
What do you think we should get into first, man?
Yeah, like we can, whichever order, but I think let's go. You shared some of those videos, like it was nice contrast of the various, things that can happen on the retreat. So keen to hear, let's just dive straight into that because you just shared it. Like, was there something specific you wanted to talk about?
Oh man, not really, to be honest. Like, I just wanted to hear your initial impressions, just because I did share it on purpose without context. Because when people are watching it, they're going to see it without context, right? They're just going to see it, and they're going to make whatever meaning they're going to make out of it. So,
Got it.
yeah, like, yeah, please,
Yeah, and I was
Kesh.
gonna say, only thing I would say is for the I don't know if the word is the untrained eye. Like for me, like that first video is quite like for someone that doesn't get it, as you said. So maybe you can talk to it. It can feel like a bit intense, and it might actually scare people from wanting to do some of the work with you because it can feel quite intense. Obviously, I know what it is, so and I know you're helping someone get out of their way, and all those kinds of things. But yeah, do you want to talk to it and just explain it a bit more? Because I can see how it could rub people the wrong way. Not rub people the wrong way, but interpret it in a way that could be perceived as, I don't know, negative or a power trip or whatever else it is.
For sure. Let me I'll show you the stats on Instagram, because we only just chucked this up yesterday. So the views are like super low at the moment, like 1,400. But what is nuts is, number one, it's basically got a 50-50 split between followers and non-followers, which is actually a pretty powerful piece of data. But here's the craziest one: 59 shares. So even though people are not liking it, they're not really engaging with it, they're sharing the crap out of it. These are, like, anyone who knows Instagram, these are very skewed statistics. Like, you don't see 59 shares from 1,500 views. So I have a feeling that this one actually might pop off, just because no one has, like, shares is quite a powerful metric for Instagram, because they are like, it shows people are actually like watching it, even if they're not liking.
I'm going to jump in and ask a question.
By
Right?
all means, please.
People are sharing it, but they're not liking it. Is that? Do you think there's a reason? Would there be a reason for that? Like, is it because when you share it, do you know the people that have shared it versus? Because I'm not a big Instagram user, so you don't know.
No,
but if someone likes it, you know who it is.
I don't know. Yeah, if someone likes it, I know who it is. But if someone shares it, I don't know who it is. Furthermore, here's my theory, man.
Yeah.
My theory is that it's such a jarring piece of content that a lot of people probably don't know if they even feel comfortable pressing like on it, because they maybe don't understand it, or it's just a crazy fucking piece of content. So that would be, so I reckon people have unresolved feelings about what they think of it, number one. Hence, you don't see much likes, much comments. That's what I think, man. But the fact that it's stirring something up, like, it's like 59 shares is a crazy honest metric. Like, to say that it's like, it's clearly stirring something up. And hey, man, even if to your point, it's like you didn't know the context, and no, neither does anyone else who's watching this thing, right? So obviously, like, I've written a caption here, doing my best to provide some level of context, but a lot of people wouldn't even have read that potentially, So, but if to be honest, like, I don't actually slap people. I don't actually physically use my hands on people at the retreat, other than holding them and pushing them and stuff. But that's during a process where we're doing it to each other, which Kedge is familiar with, like, where it does get physical, but it's not it's a two-way street in that little scenario, right? Whereas a slap is a one-way street. So overall, like, ironically, I didn't mean to slap the guy, and to be honest, afterwards, I actually, as justified as it could, like, even the guy thanked me afterwards, right? So I'll speak to that as well. But I don't, as justified as it may be, or this or that or whatever, I think as humans, like, we have to, maybe someone, Kedge, or even someone listening in the comments, by all means, please do share your opinion, because definitely Kedge and I read all of it. To me, regardless of if it was justified or not, even regardless of whether the guy who got slapped was cool with it or not, I think at the end of the day, for me, as a personal standard, who do I want to be and who do I not want to be? And for me, in that moment, like, at the end of the day, I do believe there needs to be a line somewhere, and I do believe I crossed it by slapping the guy, and I actually apologized unprovoked. I apologized in front of the whole group to him, and I just said, look, there needs to be a line somewhere. I feel like I crossed it, and I apologize because that's not what I want to do. And so why it happened was because we're doing a process there on the final day of the retreat called the embodiment process. And basically what we do during that process is the boys go through a really big, beautiful, transformative journey about like letting go of their trauma and letting go of their trauma. There's a whole 6-week one-on-one and group journey program that they do before they even come to the retreat, right? So the retreat's kind of the culmination of a lot of work, and they've done a lot to let go of their old baggage, and they've really centered into who they want to be moving forward, going, and the type of life that they want to live going forward. That's kind of the, and then this piece here, the final day of the retreat, is called the embodiment routine, where the guy that goes through this process is really trying to train in this new version of him through things like affirmations and challenge. Challenge is a big part of this as well, because basically he's reading out what his new affirmations are, which encapsulate this new version of him. And if we sense at a certain point in this process, like first we just give them some rehearsal time and support, but then at the culmination, if we sense that they're not fully owning it, we will challenge them because it's better for them to like recognize this and have it brought to their attention in a training environment than happening in real life where they just drop the ball and muck it up. So in this scenario, I, in my perception, detected that he was still kind of smiling and taking the piss, to be honest, earlier, like he was chewing some gum as well. And I'm just like, dude, get serious, get that fucking gum out of your mouth and actually get serious. And I saw he was still like, he kind of had a smile on his face and stuff like that. And to me, I detected he's still trying, this is what I said in the video, I detected he's still trying to act cool and he's still trying to look cool in front of others and chase significance. And I know that is the very reason, like the guys, like, because sometimes like we think that the validation of the people around us, like depending on how mature you are, you think that that's everything. But then you're like, I think with maturity, we come to realize we're living in a big world. And sometimes the friends that you started off with in your early 20s or even in high school, they're not the be all and end all. And do you really want to waste your precious life like trying to impress people that don't ultimately maybe matter for your life? And so that's what I detected him, and that's why he's come to the program, because he's been feeling stuck in a bunch of negative patterns, including chasing validation. So when I saw him doing that, I freaking gut checked the crap out of him, and it obviously helped him wake up, and he did super well in the process afterwards, because he just kind of found, I guess, sad, like he hit rock bottom, he hit the anger, he hit everything. And then he kind of just went berserk after that, which was amazing. And then he gave me a hug at the end and thanked me. But that's the context there. And Kedge, I don't know. I'm sure you have many things to say about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, man.
No, as in, to be honest, not too, as in, because I know it, I get it, So I'm more just trying to think through the untrained eye, like, what other people might think. But I guess I was going to ask the question, like, what was the outcome at the end, and you kind of touched on that as well. And I think sometimes, like, yeah, man, like, 'cause I get it. Like sometimes, like, we don't want to, even in that moment, is I'm trying to act a bit cool. I don't want to do it, just a bit smirky, like, I'm too cool for this, like blah blah. You know what I mean? And it's like, I guess that's the whole reason why people are coming there. I know you talk about it all the time. Come and play. If you want to come on this, you want to spend money, you want to work on yourself, like, bro, you gotta play full out. And that's one of the rules typically that you set on the first day. And if you're not going to, and you get permission to do it as well, right? If you're not going to, I'm going to call you out. So it's not like coming out of nowhere. So I'm almost explaining it as opposed to any questions, but because I get it. And I think, yeah, you sense that he wasn't playing full out, I imagine. So you almost had the implied permission to call it out. And as a result, there was a great outcome at the end.
No, man, well said. That was pretty much it. And man, like the second video that I showed was just about basically saying no one cares about your excuses. You know, Kedge, anything you want to speak to on that video? Even like people listening at home don't even have the context, I guess, but
Yeah, no, as in, yeah, and I think firstly it was great, like the three that you did, and I don't know, it's probably intentional because it showed a really nice array of, you know, the various ways that you tackle. It's not just one dimensional, you know, how things are approached. But yeah, man, of course, man, like as in we've touched on this a few times, and you know, none of us have had handouts in life. All of us, you know, have had it relatively hard for various different reasons, as I'm sure, you know, many other people have as well. But you know, and it's once again sounds simple to say, but you know, there's two options, right? Either throw your hands in the air and use those excuses to justify and stay where you are, or use those as fuel to get out of where you are, and you know, and actually and change that. And by changing that, you also, for me anyway, just like it helps almost become a leader. You're guiding other people who are in a similar boat. They watch you and they want to do the same, and you're also changing things for your family and your future generations as well. So. Yeah, and more of a question back to you. And once again, I guess for me, for some reason, I don't know if the word natural, like I gravitate towards that naturally. Like I'm pulled towards that. Like I feel just because things are hard, I'm just not the type of person that's going to throw my hands in the air. It's just like for whatever reason, I've got this bit of fire to change that. So yeah, so I get it. But where does the fire to change that come from? Because I, to a certain degree, felt a little bit born with it. So is that a bit of a cheat? But also have done a lot of work to, like, I guess, go a bit deeper into it as well, man. So
yeah, it's very, you know, it's fascinating, man. I'll say, bro, this is a mutual friend of ours that, you know, called me this morning, and she lives in a different country, so it was her nighttime, morning. And bro, she's been really going through like this catastrophic time at work, and she's quite seasoned to personal. She's done a lot of personal development. She's a good, like, real amazing person, and you know, she was telling me like just how savage it's been over the last 2 years for her, living abroad and working at this company, which apparently is just awful the way she described it. And she said particularly in the last 1 year, this company is just like the manager and the manager, whatever, like she's just saying that they're just so nasty, so mean to her, etc., etc. And I'm sure we probably all, as people listening at home as well, we'll all either have gone through that ourselves, or we have a friend who maybe has gone through that too. And man, like one thing that, you know, her and I, we had, because she's obviously very strong in personal development, so we had quite a deep chat pretty effortlessly. And one of the things that we considered in this chat over the 1 hour, this is just this morning, was like, I just said to her, like, do you think that there's a chance subconsciously you don't want to actually be there, so you're making a mountain out of a molehill, which is not, it's not a molehill. It's genuinely what she's going through is really bad.
Yeah.
But I also know her enough to know she's a fucking thug, and she used to work at like one of the big banks in Australia, like, and used to like present stuff to the CEO, like I believe the highest paid CEO in Australia, like if I'm not highest paid female CEO in Australia, or the highest paid CEO in Australia in general. That's who she used to report to. So it's not like she's an idiot, and she's gone through insane levels of hard things. But I know that when she worked at that job, surely it would have been super hard, but she really liked working there. And so I said to her, like, do you think that, because I said, I used the analogy, I said to her, you know, when I remember, like, with my like first ever girlfriend, man, I remember I got to like this kind of point where subconsciously I didn't want to be with her, right? And then I ended up like making an argument, or basically like making an issue out of something small to basically justify breaking up with her. You know, I reckon we've all probably done something like that, you know? And so in the same way, man, I use it as an analogy, and I said to our mutual friend, I said, like, do you think there's a chance maybe you don't want to work there anymore? And then actually what she said was, Dim, you know what? I think in the first year, because I subconsciously was gaining a whole bunch from being at that company and being in that country and blah, 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 these issues were there, but it didn't really upset me so much. But I think now it's like diminishing returns for me in terms of what I'm subconsciously gaining from being there. So now the issues feel a lot worse. And so I said that to say that, to your point just then, Kedge, about like, am I just born with that fire to like never? I think that there is a trait of not liking to lose that some people have. Like, I think you and me really struggle to lose. Like, we even if it's just for the sake of like our own mental sake, we even if we want to quit, we'll still win first and then we'll quit. Like, that's just our thing. But I think the more deeper thing that's happening with a lot of people, including maybe me, for sure, is like, I know for sure, if subconsciously, like, I don't want to be there, then suddenly everything's, I'll just make everything bad. You know, like what?
Yeah.
That's my theory on what you're saying.
Yeah. No, it can. So, loop me back. So, where did this start from? So, we're talking about this because what was the? I'm trying to go back because I know
because that second Instagram clip was about like making excuses for why you're not achieving your shit.
yeah. Got it. And then but then I guess the follow question for that, where's the final? How do you know you're not making excuses because you don't want to be there, or you're just being lazy and you're just being just not motivated? You're just being, I guess, being shit. You know, for better words. Like what's the how do you know? Or just that obviously you can try and figure it out, but there's a difference, right?
Yeah, man, there is a difference.
Yeah,
and I think like there's two things. Number one, with her when we spoke, I think she came to genuinely realize, man, that's the truth. I don't actually want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
So therefore, I am being motivated. I'm being lazy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a whole bunch of things that they asked me to do. Yeah. So I can see that I'm kind of right. So I think that a strong part of laziness, inconsistency, blah blah blah, it comes from a lack of internal alignment anyway. Because behaviors come, results come from behaviors, which come from values, which come from your sense of identity. So basically, if your behaviors are off, it's usually very rarely anything but like you're not internally aligned in some aspect. So what does internally aligned mean? Number one, it's usually like you don't believe you're capable of doing it, or you believe that task in general is impossible, or you don't actually think that doing the task is going to get you what you want.
Yeah.
So why does that, this is a sales thing, man. Like in sales, like if you want to know why someone's struggling to make a decision to buy, it's either because they think that the vehicle won't get them what they want, or they think that maybe the vehicle does work for others, but it won't work for them, or like the vehicle doesn't work. So it's either it's not going to get me what I actually want because they don't know what they actually want, or they think the vehicle doesn't work, or they think that they can't make the vehicle work. It's typically those three things. I'm sure maybe you've seen that in sales.
Yeah, makes sense. And then, but in real life situation, I guess with this alignment thing. So for a lot of people though, so potentially it could work, but say they've been working on it for 2, 3 years, 4 years, it hasn't worked out. So then now they're about to give up. But it's not that it can't work all the time. So I guess it's about deciphering which one it is, so you can take the appropriate action, I guess, ultimately is what. Yes.
I would imagine so, man. I think that you want to be speaking to someone to help you. And like to your earlier point, Kedge, I just think that subconsciously we can tell, am I just being lazy, or is it just because I just fucking don't want to do this? But typically, man, in my experience, like when you want to do something, you're not late. It's hard to be lazy. When you want to do it, you do it. You know, like.
But I also, I agree, but I also find people give up sooner than expected as well. Like things get hard, and because the things are always going to get hard with like, and like we touched on, like so at the start, so things get hard, and then you're like, like it's too hard, as opposed to like persevering, pushing through, getting out the other side as well, right? Or from what you're seeing, it's definitely more the first.
No. I think where that comes from, which is like, it's getting hard, so I give up.
Yeah.
I think that comes from two things. Number one, it's like, do you really want it or not? That's number one.
Sure.
I think that's quite important. But number two is sometimes people create, and I'm super guilty of this, create unrealistic expectations of what it's actually going to take to get this. And so basically the difference between a fantasy and a reality is the depression, meaning that the difference between like, so for example, that I just had to sign 72, print out 72 loan documents and blah, 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 blah. But to be fair, like, did I put even 1 millimeter of thought into actually what it's going to take to get a loan for someone like me who's a business owner and who lives overseas? No, so it's kind of like I didn't. So the thing is, if I had thought in advance, what's it actually going to take to get a fucking home loan for someone like me? I probably would be a lot more mentally prepared for the fact that I really have to apply myself. I have to really focus, really be switched on. Like, it's not going to be a walk in the park,
Good on you for taking some ownership, because that it was pretty. Having been involved in that journey it's been pretty wild. So yeah.
Anyway, man, bro, I'm actually very curious to ask you a question. In one of our very early episodes, you spoke very beautifully about your team, motivating your team, values alignment, vision, all that stuff. If it's not too personal or sensitive data, like I'd love to hear how the team is going, the values, all that stuff. I'd love to hear all that's going, man.
I think it's overall it's been like, because we're so small, as in the volume of people in our team, I think innately, quote unquote, not lucky, because I guess we're selective on who we've got on, but I think those values already like existed, and it doesn't, to be honest, hasn't really needed to be spoken about too many times since then, because we're somewhat small. It's just how we operate, and I think I feel like it's become embodied quite quickly, even if we don't talk about it every single day, and if we don't, we'll call it out of each other pretty quickly and easily. So and I think for me as well, it's also a realization that, as I was saying to Manny the other day, I don't know if we want to even like get quote unquote bigger, like, and bigger in the sense of hiring more people and hiring, because I think all these things add all these layers of complexities, and you start to lose, and you definitely can be done. So I don't want to make it sound like quite a limiting belief, but we're happy, we're at a good level, like, and I think it's like doing this, and with the incomes that we can make and the lifestyle we want to live, I think we'll get there. So like, there's no need to, if that changes, but there's no need to push ourselves beyond that to go and achieve things that we don't, for the sake of it, I guess, is the point. Because I think sometimes it's growing for the sake of growing, and then you can become misaligned in the process, and it's like, how did I even end up here? So I guess these are conscious conversations that we're having.
Bro, can I ask you a few questions about that, unless you want to say something else?
No, go for it.
Dude, when you were saying that, I promise you, I shit you not, I was just thinking, man, Kedge needs to mentor people. Here's why I'm saying it,
sure.
Right? Because bro, like when we first met a long time ago, you owned a cafe, and then you fucking, and in addition, you fucking, I don't know what other business was going on, but then you fucking bought all this fucking property, and you've made yourself a multimillionaire from property, and then you, I believe you went into working for others to help them grow their property buyers agencies, from my memory, and then you partnered up with someone you trusted, and then you built the one that you've got now. And now you're also buying this gym, and like, dude, in so many ways, And bro, you're a very balanced guy. You don't have a drug problem. You're not a douchebag. Like you got a really lovely wife. You got a kid. Like you're 36.
35, 36 next year.
35.
Yeah.
Bro, you've basically kind of achieved everything that basically pretty much anyone could want by the age of 35, especially if people knew how much money you were making and stuff, you know? So, dude, you're like a fucking case study, man. Like, you really are, man. And it's like, I'm just trying to ask a valuable question, that will help people who are listening at home. But honestly, like I want to learn something too, man. Like genuinely, like I'm asking selfishly for myself too. Like, bro, I guess what I'd like to ask. Wait, before I ask anything, is there anything you want to speak to? Just when I said all that?
Yeah, if I'll say something, but yeah, and please ask your question. But I think you mentioned something about mentoring and why I find it. I don't know if it's hard or not interested or or imposter syndrome, whatever. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've seen a lot of different style of businesses, different types of different things work for different people, right? And it's not like a one size fits all. And I don't think by any means we're saying that it is, but I've seen people that have built, like, you know, been parts of organizations that have gone from nothing and, you know, got 1,000 employees now. I've seen people that have stayed small and are happy. I've seen people that have operated in, like I said, I think I touched on a previous episode, that have opened up multiple laundromats, you know, and been successful. And so it's such a unique process for each person, for what really drives them, what's motivating them, what works for them. So I'm sure somewhere in there's some sort of pattern or something to teach. But I think for me, it's really been experiential. You know, I've done so many random things, even like I've done a digital marketing business or all the skills that I've learned along the way, just done so many things, but I didn't care about, I'm not passionate about it, just did it because I thought I could make money. Did an e-commerce thing once on, you know, trying to sell stuff, you know, once again, didn't care enough about it, you know, buying stuff and building things in China, shipping them through e-commerce and all that stuff as well, right? So just a bunch of things. But once again, I think the biggest thing for me was just like all those things that I did just for money and just because I thought those things or just didn't end up working out. So a big part of it for me was getting that alignment, a lot of the personal development work I did with you. So I don't know how to package that up and then mentor, because I feel like there's so many different strings to potentially pull at.
I think that's fine. I mean, here or separately, I can help you learn how to mentor people, because I think that I think you're a stone's throw away if you want it. I don't know if you actually want it, but you find it a way.
Sure.
Can I ask you something just on this though?
Yeah, please.
Dude, okay. This is a real brutal projection.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just summarize what I think I heard so far. So what you said is like, initially you tried a bunch of shit just to get the money. It didn't really work out. It's hard to make it work long term when we're not internally aligned. Hence, we did the internal alignment work, which is lovely. And then you realized your values and what you actually care about, et cetera, and then you started to go down a path of building wealth and going to your goals in a way that was internally aligned to you. Did I say that right thus far, man?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I feel like is a flaw of mine, which I feel like you've done really well.
Okay.
I feel like you have made it easier for the universe to give you money. And I feel like a lot of people don't make it easy on themselves for the universe to give them money. So here's an example. I'll use myself as an example. I'm being super real. I want to learn something here, man.
I'm keen to hear where this is gonna go. Yeah.
Okay, man. So for example, when I was 25, I was fucking making 200 grand a year, bro. You know, so I could have so ironically, man, like I was making fucking plenty of money. But then I watched myself, you know, take a detour into, and I bought 6 properties, as you know, but before I was 30, I took a detour into PwC. where I was going to make 200 grand a year, but then they wanted to make me a permanent. And then that dropped it down to like 110 grand a year. But I can see consciously I chose that. So I basically chose less money because I believe that there's other benefits in terms of like the development and everything they'll put into me. And there was. So I actually, like, this is the first time I've even thought about it. It was super, 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 super worth it for me to sacrifice, I guess you could say, $90,000 for what I received in the being part of a company and actually being grown. Like, so I received mentors out of that, and I'm super grateful for that. So I can see how I traded the money for learning and development Then, my bro, I quit to do my business. And to be honest, like, I think I was maybe deluded in thinking that I could make like crazy money really quickly or relatively quickly with my business, because there's so many sharks out there who put this insane BS level of marketing into Instagram and YouTube and shit, in terms of like, oh man, you can make like, oh, wow, in 4 weeks, we got this guy who was making nothing to making 80 grand a week, 80 grand a month or something like that, right? So I think there was part of me that believed it was possible to make serious money relatively quickly. But that was not the case, as you're aware. And it took me like definitely 3 years of struggle before I started to make like good money. But at the same time, there's a part of me that watches you, for example, and goes, man, like, bro, I know my way around property too. Like, you know, and I got friends like Kedge and Manny and whatever. Why not fuck off the business that I'm doing and do a business that is just like, you know, selling coaching to men. Most men don't want fucking help. Like, that's just a stigma that we all know. I feel like I'm in one of the most difficult niches in the world. Like, I feel like, bro, I was coaching someone in the entrepreneur zone in one of my coaching programs, and the guy's a videographer. He was making $400,000 a year. Bro, when I listen, and he does like Indian and Sri Lankan weddings and stuff, right? And bro, when I was listening to him, I was like, holy shit, this guy's sales and marketing ability is so shit. I couldn't fathom how shit his sales and marketing was, right? And I'm like, this motherfucker is making 400 grand a year. and then I come to realize, man, like, because especially when he started, like, there was no one else really specializing in curry weddings. So basically he specialized in curry weddings, and it's a good mark because curries want to spend money on good videography for that. They know they're going to be spending 10 to 20 grand on videography, and they value it. And then this guy and then there was only one other competitor at the time. And so because of that, and because of the trust that he got from, he did his work really well. His deliveries are, whatever. So as a result, he got a lot of referral, and that's how he grew. But my point is this, man, like, I feel after 8 years of doing this, I really feel like, yeah, I'm in a real hard business here. You know, I genuinely am. And my skills are insane. Like, if you look at like me in terms of sales and marketing knowledge compared to people who are doing a lot more money than me, bro, there's a reason I'm coaching him. Because I think I've had to fight for every inch in my industry that I've had to become really good at this shit. And my projection is, subconsciously, that's why I've done it, because subconsciously I valued the learning more than I valued the money. And as a result, I sacrificed, the big pay packets that, people maybe like yourself make, for the learning that I wanted. But I'm sorry for that, 5-minute or 10-minute rant or whatever I just said, but I just wanted to say some context. But what I love about you, man, is my projection is somehow you've seemed to balance learning, personal development. Like, you've got to a strong level of personal development and self-awareness and stuff. you've got to a strong level of business, etc., 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 and you're in a business that is not insanely difficult. So to me, that's why I kind of ended the story with like, it seems to me like Kedge has a very strong ability to receive the money. So
Yeah. So it's funny as you're sharing all of that, I would say as you're saying that, I resonated because I felt like I was on a very similar trajectory for a very long time. For a long time, I used to call it, I think we talked about it before, called it the golden-handcuff. So I've worked in lots of businesses, other places, providing immense value. And I sacrificed going out on my own, one out of fear, but two, out of the fact of, all the other things that come with, working under good people, the mentorship, the growth, the development, and always justified, it will pay off later. I'll keep learning and I'll get the rewards later. But honestly, I think how many years ago now? I don't know what the exact 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. I realized, man, I've learned enough. I've sacrificed. I've dropped immense amount of value to a wide range of businesses. Like, I'm going to be selfish for a while. And actually, it wasn't even backwards, but when I was working in like high leadership roles and doing that, I just went back onto the front line and just went back to just selling for a while. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make some money for now. So, and then there was a bit of a transition period. I was like, I'm just going to be selfish. Like, even though I've got so much value to give in leadership and all these other things, I was like, for a couple of years, I'm just going to make as much money as I can and then go. And I went on another string of buying some properties on the back of that. Right. So to your point, I think I felt in a very similar boat to you for a long time, but there was a turning point where I was like, it was almost like, screw this. Like, it hasn't, almost every single time that I've done it. I know you said we have learned a lot, and I agree we have, but I was like, it hasn't worked out from a financial point of view. I was like, it doesn't. So I was like, I need to go out and do something for myself now. Oh, I've lost. Oh, you're on mute. Yeah.
Sorry, man. My internet just dropped out. I couldn't get off mute. Bro, I think that's very powerful. Bro, are you able to speak to, or is this just my projection?
Yeah.
Like, it seems to me like some people struggle to take the opportunities that are in front of them, or struggle to receive the money. And I'm not even talking about self-worth necessarily. I'm just saying, you seem to me to like, and maybe it is just, hey, I'm comfortable being selfish now. Like, and I love it. If it's as simple as that, that's fucking amazing. And that's a great takeaway for people. My question is, man, could you speak to like, I feel like there's a lot of people that feel like they have to make it hard for themselves. Maybe they think maybe they've even had that thought. Like, why am I making it so hard for myself? Like, I'm not saying I'm really in that place anymore. Like, because I've seen my own change over the last 1 to 2 years. But could you speak to? Because I definitely was in that place before.
Yeah, I don't know how to like. What's the question specifically? Like, as in, like, why? Like, why? Yeah, like, what is that? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like, people are making it hard for themselves.
I'm sure you've encountered people that maybe you've tried to help, maybe even, and you've tried to give them really good opportunities, but they're not like they're instead choosing a path which seems harder and less lucrative, instead of just taking a much easier opportunity in front of them. I guess to me, it just feels like you have found a way to find peace with, like, I'm sad. Like, you know what you were saying? You know why I thought about this? You know how you were saying you were reflecting on your business and you're like, bro, like, man, we're actually making pretty good money. Teams are great size. Like, why grow it for the sake of growing it and add a bunch of complexity? It's kind of like, right? Yeah. It's just like, so to me, what I admire, man, is like, you're not just making it hard for hard's sake. Like, there seems to be like this almost like king.
For sure.
Yeah, please.
I get what you asked. So this is a bit. I don't know if this answers your question, but that specific statement is observation from previous places I've been, and also just knowing the industry and other people. I've seen other people, they scale their business and they can talk about, I've got 30 members now, 40 members. And granted, they might be making a bit more money than we are. And their but ultimately, for all that effort of extra complexity, their net profit at the end of the day is not dramatically higher. And a lot of it feels like it's more of an ego kind of thing. I want it. It's a flex, right? I'm one of the biggest in the industry. We do this many. Our team is 30 people, whatever. And it's funny because like it seems so obvious, but that was a driver for me in the past. I did want to be one of the biggest, one of the best. But then you see the realities of it, and it's like, are those the things I want to tolerate for that gain? And I don't. And the realization is it's not. So I don't know if that's what you're asking, but that was the purpose of that comment, I guess.
I think though it was meant to be that you just said that, man. The reason I'm saying I think it's meant to be is because at the very beginning of this conversation, we were speaking about how like it's tempting to think that it's so peachy over there, and then we were speaking about how like it's actually like it's not the real.
Yeah, this is more different kinds of problems. So it's almost like what pain even one of the things about the business mentoring and stuff you spoke about, and I feel like a really key important thing that people need to ask themselves is like, how much pain are you willing to tolerate? Because there's a certain level of pain or like types of pain that you need to be able to tolerate to be able to operate at certain levels or manage bigger teams or certain levels of income that are going to come in because there is, right? And I'll just quickly just touch on some of the things that I'm personally dealing with, like, and you can think, so it's like, even right, owning properties is great, right? Whatever, like you see the glamorous side of it, you buy this many properties, net equity position of $3 million plus, whatever, is great. But now over the last 6 months, I've been just like dealing with this fucking bathroom that fucking exploded in, one of my properties in, in Bendigo, and it's like got someone that renovated it, it's got like waterproofing issues. And then now I'm like dealing with like insurances and like plumbers run away, the builder's saying X, and so I'm just doing shit like that, which is like, and there's always little things like that would pop up, right? It's like it's naive to think that nothing's going to happen, but it's just very annoying, hard to deal with. And as I'm saying it probably doesn't sound that difficult, but there's so many layers of fucking paperwork and calling, staying on hold, waiting for people to respond, people running away, dealing with legal and all that stuff that comes with it. So just multiply that by the level of things that you're dealing with in your life. And then also trying to set up this new gym business that I'm talking about. And then you're going through this, once again, council approvals, and then things getting delayed and things getting knocked back, and you got to go get more documents, and then go get fucking flood certificate and bloody whatever, all these other things. And then cost blowout. And so I guess you're dealing with all that stuff. And at the end result, it's going to look good and you're going to see it and the end outcome, but you don't see that stuff that you're dealing with. And as you know, and sometimes business goes a bit quieter, you've got to sit there, you're hungry, you're going to reaching out to more partners, doing all the grind work that's involved in things. So there's man. And on top of all of that, man, got a 4-month-old, so less sleep, less sleep than ever, and just juggling all of that, and just love it all. But you just got to, I guess it's like, these are the things you got to tolerate to make these things happen. It's not just going to happen as well, So
and everyone listening at home, just remember, while you're chilling at Nando's, busting a chill and not thinking about anything and going home and watching Netflix, that's what Ked just said is what he's doing, right? Yeah. Like, cause I'm just showing you the contrast. Like, it's not. I love helping people get rich. Like I love people. I love helping people in general, but I love helping people get rich and get empowered and all this stuff. But to me, what we're talking about is empowerment, because it's just like, hey man, like, I know it's easy to be jealous of Kedge or XYZ. Not even Kedge. It's easy to be jealous of whoever. Like, I remember Kyle Sandilands. I know we spoke about this last week as well.
I ended up watching that episode after. But yeah. But anyway, continue.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, man. But with Uncle Kyle, he was like, bro, he was commenting on how Elon Musk like became the first trillionaire or something like that, and how the whole media and everything was just slandering him for how bad he is or whatever, and Kyle was like, dude, I'm just disgusted and discouraged that like our first response to someone who's achieved this psycho thing, like has to be a negative one. You know, like it's not a walk in the park to become a trillionaire. I'm pretty sure. I've never become one, but I'm pretty sure it's not a walk in the park. And Kyle goes, bro, if you look at Elon when he was like a nobody, he was just like this nerdy dweeb. He doesn't look nice. He's autistic. He's just sitting on the floor, like on a broken floor with all these parts. Like that's where he was, and then he became a trillionaire. Can't you have some level of admiration? Like no matter, I'm sure the guy has his flaws, and they're amplified because he's on the world stage, as opposed to someone listening at home's flaws, which are like just not seen or not amplified, right? But it's just like I'm simply saying, like, while while someone's chilling at Nando's or whatever, just wasting time on their phone, this is the shit that Kedge is dealing with that's getting him the results. I do have another point to say on that, but were you going to say something first, Kedge?
No, I think I was just going to repeat it, to be honest. Ultimately, it's just like, it's going back. It's like, I think you got to know the limits of, I don't know how you figure it out, right? It's almost until you experience it, you know how you're going to deal with it. But there's, so much anxiousness and stress and things that come with that. So that be able to tolerate and move forward in those situations is a really big characteristic, I believe, of being able to do these kinds of things. And I'll let you make your point, but I guess the follow-on, like, is like, how do you know that about yourself before you go into stuff? Is like, because it will happen at some point, typically, right? And you need to know that about yourself, because you can go the other way. And sometimes, it's very tempting to be like, just feel anxious and just not deal with it, you know, and crumble under it. So I think that's a really, really big, important point that people need to figure out about themselves before they kind of step into that zone. Because it is, because there is, it's work and it can be scary. Oh, man. Frozen for a bit. Come on. Oh,
Hey, Kedge, we back?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah,
Right.
sorry, I don't know where I got cut off, but
Oh, good. No. I think you almost wrapped it up. You're like, that's a really important point that people need to figure out about themselves, bro. I'd love to share a little theory. This is not even what my other point was, but I'd love to share a little theory for people at home. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Kedge.
Yeah.
This is Jim's theory of success, right? And I feel like I heard the blueprints of it in what you shared. Volume. If I was to say it in one word, it's volume. Here's why I'm saying that for everyone listening at home, because to me, when I was listening to kind of like what helped Kedge get the confidence to number one, have his own business, to know what the fuck to do in his own business, but also for him to, in a wholesome way, like such a wholesome dude like Kedge, for him to just be okay with receiving. You know, his language was like, bro, I think it's okay to be selfish. I need to be a bit selfish now and get some money. Like, how do you get to that point where subconsciously you're aligned to just fucking receiving the money, man? You know? And to me, the common denominator that I've seen across the board, I've seen this with me, with wealth building, with business building, with personal development, with relationship mastery, with getting a great physique, whatever area of life, the number one common denominator I have seen with anyone who is successful, and again, please, if you have a different opinion to this, I would love to hear it, bruv, because because it's just a theory. It's volume. So to me, it's just like Kedge did so much different shit. He kept trying shit. He actually did try the Amazon thing or the drop shipping thing, and he tried to work for these people, and he learned from these motherfuckers, and he tried this, and then he went back to sales, and he did all this shit. And so to me, the level of reps that Kedge has put into the game has led to the experience and the wisdom to help him make the next choice. So that's I'll shush there, but that's my theory, man. What I know it sounds
I think honestly, I'll just stand by that. Like, as in real life experience, like as in you can consume. And I think prior to when I first started working with you, however many years ago now, like I was a big consumer of content. So I theoretically understood shit, like as in I just watch content, consume content, but nothing was majorly shifting. I could just regurgitate shit, because I watch so much, I can regurgitate it. But then just like actually so much application of things and trying to do things, I figured out what it truly meant, that real life experience. And I think, and all those various things have, led to where I am now and where I'm trying to go. And I think I touched on a previous one. One of the biggest things like I learned about myself, and I could have, when I was at a crossroads, I could have started a business by myself, and as an example, and I've got all the skill sets, everything to do it, but I just know that I don't operate well solo. I have my ups and downs. I like to lean on someone, I like to bounce off people, all that stuff. And so once again, hence why I end up going in a partnership, with Manny, and it's like doing really well, because once again, it was a really good learning of myself through the various things that I've done before, that solo is not right for me, and I was very tempted to go solo because I could have potentially made more money, or I could keep all of it for myself and, give less away because it's not a partnership and blah, blah, blah. But I knew the potential cost of that because of the experiences from before, and just from trying things and blah, blah, and that kind of stuff. So that's one small example. And it sounds simple, but it was a tough choice to make. When you think about the quantum potentially of income and things like that will get split up. So, but so many other micro things like that. And that only comes from, I guess, experience and figuring things out.
Exactly. Beautifully said. Thank you, man. Because I would also just say that if Kedge didn't have that experience to know that about himself, that he doesn't operate well solo, for example, then what could end up happening is he does start a business partnership with his business partner, but then he grows to resent his business partner because he has this fantasy that, oh no, everything will be better if I was solo, So to me, it's his self-knowledge, that wisdom comes from the reps of actually trying shit, that has helped him make an informed decision and also be at peace with that decision, so he doesn't self-sabotage, what he's got, So, man, I know we're almost at time, but I there was something else I was going to say. I can save it for next episode. That might be nice, but I think it's been a magnificent discussion, man.
Yeah. No, it really was. Wasn't expecting it to go this way, but no, really good conversation. And yeah, man. And if anything, that's probably, it's hard, right? Because there's, even for me, like I'll just quickly touch on a point. When I was younger, I jumped around like between 18 to 25, I don't know, whatever, that age. I jumped around so many different jobs, right? Like I'll get over something 9 months in, get over it, move on, 6 months here, 1 year there. Like, I guess I learned a lot because, in all these various places so quickly, but it was almost like it was viewed as negative. It was viewed as giving up. But I don't know, looking back, I'm like, I feel like that also, I'm not telling people to go do that, but it's just like, for me, it felt like it worked out because I experienced lots of different industry, got a lot out of it, moved on. But I don't know, like as in like, and this goes back to the mentoring thing. Like when someone asked me, I wouldn't necessarily tell them to go down that same path, because sometimes is it better to get 3 years and there's different experiences that come from that, But I do feel like for me, the acceleration happened for that reason. So, yeah.
Man, and something I've heard Tom Bilyeu say is skills have utility, which I think is a dumb way to express a really great point. Basically, what he's saying is like don't feel bad about your past, because you never know how those skills that you developed doing whatever you did can come in handy. Like, and bro, like look at this, man. Like literally, like one of the first things we did on today's episode was we showed that video of me blasting someone on the beach. But where did I learn that? I was in the army for 4 years, man. Like that's exactly where I learned it. That's exactly where I learned it, right? Like me watching me being that guy getting yelled at so many times. Like I learned how to do it, and the value of it as well. And like it's just like, to me, the conclusion I'm taking from this thus far, man, is like, I think to me, the biggest one is volume. Like Kedge just really put himself out there and did stuff. And as a result, he's just accumulated like all these different experiences that like he, it helps him to this day. And he just finds ways to bring it together. And also because of all the experiences, it's helped him learn about himself more and and therefore make more informed decisions and more aligned decisions. And it's got him to a point where he's quite happily receiving, and also doesn't really have a chip on his shoulder where he's just chasing shit for the sake of it. He's just kind of found this level of peace. So to me, man, that's my reflection based on this discussion. Do you have anything you want to say on that?
Fair reflection, man. And I think, like, as in, just to wrap things up, I think, to your point, I think, volume and experience, if there's anything to be taken away, is probably the biggest thing. So I think, and that can apply for anything, right? Even if it's with your partner, and every tough conversation that you need to have, like, it's repetition of having those conversations that is going to make you better at it as well, eventually, right? So, so with anything, froze for a second. But with anything, just putting in those reps, because it can apply to almost any context. And that's the only way to get better at it, and the only way you're going to get those little signals, and to learn from and do it better next time. So, man. So in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like, I guess put in the reps is the theme, I guess.
And I'll just quickly, I know we're totally at time. I just want to quickly say something to a note that Ked said earlier, where he said he was a big consumer of things. Like, I think one thing I'm hit the jackpot in learning. When I was 21, I went to this 10-day meditation camp called Vipassana. And, the teacher there, he's so magnificent. His name's Goenka. And he basically says, I'm going to do a 1-hour discourse for you to teach you the next level of wisdom after you do the next day of work. So basically, you do one full day from like 4:30 a.m. to like whatever it is, I can't remember, like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., where you're meditating and you're practicing this meditation technique of simply just observing your breath and stuff like that. Anyway, you do it, dude. Doing it, you experience a whole bunch of shit that you're kind of thinking, man, is this what I think it means? Is that what this is? Is that what this is? And you're experiencing some stuff. And then at the end of the day, he does this discourse, like this beautiful kind of lesson to everyone. And then that lesson helps you kind of crystallize what you experienced. And so, and he beautifully says the information and the experience together become the wisdom, but he doesn't rant for 10 hours. He just gives you 1 hour. Then you do the next day from 4:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. or whatever. And then you get the next thing, and then it crystallizes. And so to me, it's equanimous and it's balanced, where you do the experience and alongside it you get the information, and I think it's a luxury that our modern world has, that we are so information rich. We're information rich but wisdom poor, because people are replacing information for being in the field doing it. So this
100%. No, 100%, man, 100%. There's just so much and you worded it really good. It's as with everything we talk about, it's the balance and the synergy between it, right? And the thing is, there is so much content out there, and it's pretty much what you said. But when you're watching the content, it feels like you're doing the work, So you mistake just consuming for working. So, but yes, either person, they might lean slightly to one side or the other. Some people might be doing so much work without the learning as well, so maybe they need some guidance. So, but I feel like the majority are sitting in that other bucket. So, oh man,
can you do the wrap up for us, man? You're so good at it.
Am I? But yeah,
I think
honestly, really, really great chat, man. And like, felt like I was reflecting on myself as we were talking. So you ask really good questions. So, man, keen to explore down the line, man. See if there is any value to this mentorship thing. I don't know if it's one you want to do, but it's the reasons I've never thought about it is because of those reasons. I feel like there's too many people that just cast a wide net and just do generic things, whereas I feel like it's very specific. But I think we touched on a few things today, which was really eye-opening. But I think the main theme that seemed to come out of today was doing the reps, doing the work, putting the volume out there, so we can get some real life experience and learn and move forward. So if there's anything to take away for anyone listening out there that's feeling stuck, I think just time to put in some volume and some reps. Keep it simple. No, that's all, man. Unless there's anything else from you, we can say goodbye and we can, yeah.
Yeah, I love Kej's speech about Namaste Rich is about being rich in every area of life. I'd love to hear it one more time for our boy Kej, and we'll sign out.
Not even say, So the whole premise of this show is, being balanced and rich in all areas of life. So whether that be health, spirituality, wealth, relationships, and also that's what it's about. And I know today was very, wealth heavy, but I truly do feel like those principles do apply in the other areas of life too, as we briefly touched on. So yeah, until another time, wish you richness in all your life.
Absolutely. Beautifully said, Kej. We wish richness in every area of life for all of you. Thank you. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your shares. Thanks for the messages that we get, telling us like what you got out of the episode. Like it's way better that way. So thank you. And, for everyone listening, we'll see you next time.